Hello, it's Vim again, and today I've got another redstone contraption for you. I have made two different 7-segment displays. As you can see, this one's a lot smaller than that one. This one uses pistons. This one does not. And I've got them hooked up to the same input. And they go around here. Now it goes into this one first, keep that in mind. And then it goes into this one. Now, if I go over here, it's currently got 0. Let's put 1. That one and that one finished at the same time, but that gets its input after this one. So this one's faster. How awesome is that? Let's go to 2. That one, they finished at the same time, but this got this signal afterwards. So it's faster. And again, same thing. 4. Same again. 5. 5. It is 5, right? Yeah. That's better. Now look at this. It's bugged out. This one's not. So this one's also more stable. Now, as you can see, it's because of the letting it go thing that happens if it gets a 1-tick pulse. So it should be pulled back, but it's not because of I just have the wrong delay between when I clicked this one and when I clicked this one, and the time can convert. So this one's also more stable. Let's do 6. This one finished slightly before, but again, the signal. So this is so much faster, and more stable, and smaller. Smaller. 8. This time it was lots faster. 9. Again, more stable, faster, and smaller. It's awesome. Although it does use more pistons. So, people who don't like pistons, sorry. But pistons make things so much smaller sometimes. Now, let's go through how this works. They both work the same way, mostly, but there's little differences. Now, this one, what it does is take 4-bit binary input, specifically BCD actually, binary coded decimal. It means you go through 0 to 9. Any other inputs get an error. What it does is it goes into this bottom, which goes up to this redstone wires. This is a binary to decimal decoder. So the binary to decimal decoder, the only way I knew how to make binary to 7-segment was using a binary to decimal and then decimal to 7-segment, because I didn't know how to make binary to 7-segment. But as you can see, it does work. Now, the design I originally used was a lot bigger, because it had to have a gap between each torch, so then put the 6. Yeah, and that's so I decided to come up with this design here, which is the same as I did before, just much more compact, but It does invert the output each time, so I have to invert how I use it each time, but it works. Basically what happens is the binary comes now, if it needs to be, the bit needs to be on, it'll have a torch on the bottom. If the bit needs to be off, it'll have this here. So this is numbers, this is 0, this line here that I'm flying up. That whole bit there is 0. All bits need to be off, because this bit and this bit are on, isn't these torches. Now, if any of the torches are on, this signal is on, which turns this off. This is I think the NOR gate. Yeah, they're all off. I think it's either a NOR gate or a NAND gate. I think it's a NAND. Yeah, it's a 4-input NAND gate. I think. Oh yeah, 4-input NAND. So the output then goes into this torch relays, which goes firstly into, once we get it through all this, into these torches, this line here. These torches are basically symbolize what part of the display needs to be on. Now you need to remember that for when I'm explaining this. So each of these torches symbolizes an on there. So as you can see, this one, which goes all the way over there into one of the 7 segments, into one of the segments, when this will be off when the NAND gate is on. So I've got just the right inversions. And then it goes up to this one, which does the same thing, just with the one on top that I couldn't. So as you can see, there's 3 of these. That's because I couldn't fit. I could only fit 3 on each line, and there's 7, which is annoying. If it was 6 or 8, it'd be so much easier. It'd be so much more small. This whole section at the top would not be here. Now, as you can see, that one basically doesn't have the top. So these wires go all the way over here, which then go into the different parts of the display, as I explained just before. Now, I have actually numbered these wrong, according to how they're meant to be, but that's just how I thought it was at first. So this is A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. So that's how my binary to 7 segment decoder works. Now let's explain the second one, the faster, more compact, more stable piston one. Now, now the reason the screen is so big on this one is actually so I could cover this up so you wouldn't see it when you were back over here. You actually had to be like back there or something to see it, but I wanted to be so you could be as far back as you wanted and not be able to see it. Okay, so this one has the exact binary to decimal decoder, the exact same on the bottom, so that didn't change at all. Then I came up here, then the output that comes out here. So the NAND gate output is used directly, does not get inverted, goes into each of the pistons. Actually, I'll explain it with 0, just because I did before. Now 0, actually no, I won't use 0 because I stuffed 0 up. I'll use 9, this one is. So the NAND gate goes into each of these pistons. Now, there is pistons, the pistons on the top symbolize A, B, C, and the pistons on the bottom symbolize D, E, F, G. As if I go over here, you can see A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Now the reason they're in this funny order is because I tried to match it with this display. So A is here, B, C, then D, E, F, G. So that's how. So I tried to match them up. So each of these pistons symbolizes an off on the display. That is so that this signal, which is always on, same up here, can get through the blocks, through every single one of the blocks, until it reaches when it's blocked by a piston. So the piston basically turns off a segment of the display. So that's how I have managed. That way I could compact it quite a lot. And also, because pistons, I can have them directly next to each other, and repeaters, I can have them directly next to each other, as well as having repeaters and redstone next to each other without interacting. I was able to get 4 within a space that I could only get 3 before. So this way I could have the other 3 up here. So 4 plus 3 is 7 segments. And that way I could basically shave off this whole top section. Like if I run a block over here, matches up exactly to where the other one stopped. So I shaved off this top section completely. All by having one bit, well not one bit, one segment being with all the others. Now this wire is not actually connecting to this repeater, it's just the way it's connecting to this. It looks like it is, but it's actually getting its signal from here, not there. So the signal goes into the display. Now the display works by these 3 redstone control these 3 pistons because this redstone powers this block, which powers the piston. Now you may be wondering, why don't I do that? That is because that will not power the piston. Because it turns out pistons can only be powered if it goes in like that way, directly into it. Or if I power the block next to it. And this is not a bud, it's actually directly powering it. This is not a bud switch. Now these ones go into a torch. So as you can see, I've got this torch here so it can be inverted properly. So, because every single of the outputs gets inverted. So this torch powers this block, which powers the piston. It also powers this piston directly. And because it's powering this piston, it's also powering this. Now this is a bud switch, kind of. The thing is, it can actually detect that change. So it's not a bud, but it almost is. But it's not. So none of this at all uses buds. So there's no chance of it getting changed. So the same thing here for the top one, and so on and so forth. So this torch is on, these are pushed out. Now I've found this is the easiest way to actually see the things. I used to actually have it push out instead of pull in, but you couldn't see it as well as when you pulled in. So I pull in now. So that is my 2 7-segment displays with a binary input. I will upload a schematic, not a world file, a schematic. I might upload a world file, but I won't bother because there's not much in here, apart from this, which is in another one of my videos. So, please comment, rate, and subscribe, and I shall see you next time.